Welcome back to my channel, guys. Thank you so much for joining me for this project. First and foremost, thank you. We have reached over 150 subscribers. I think at last count we were at 154. You guys, it just snuck up on me. I had some things that I had in my mind I was gonna do, and we were sitting at like 139, 141 for the longest time, and all of a sudden, we shot up, hit over 150. So I decided that first and foremost, I wanted to thank you for all of you who've subscribed and been with me since the beginning. We've gone through using just a cell phone to where now I've got 4 cameras set up, where I did a lot of talking to no talking, and now I'm going to get back into talking a little bit more, explaining what I'm doing, in hopes that maybe it might help spark creativity, or somebody who hasn't turned or is very, very new at turning, and maybe I can help them out. Second of all, year ago or so when I started doing YouTube, one of the very first videos that I did was a desk gnome. I saw Nick Zametti do it. I thought that was really cool. I filmed it on my phone. At the time, I think I had like 15 subscribers. And unfortunately, at the end of that, I said there will be a part 2. And guess what? I never did a part 2. So since it was so long ago, I'm not going to add a part 2 to it. I'm just going to call it an oopsie and go from there. Today, we're going to go ahead and redo it, remake it. Stick around. We're going to make this guy right here, start to finish, with some talking in it, with some music. We're going to go ahead and make sure that there is no part 2. It might be a little bit longer than a normal video, but stick around. It's well worth it. Again, thank you so much for the 150 subscribers. When I hit 200, I am going to do a giveaway. I'm writing that down so I remember. As soon as I hit 200, I am going to do a giveaway. Maybe I'll turn something on live or video, and we'll go ahead and give that away. Give me a little bit of time to figure out what we're gonna do. But yeah, at 200 subscribers, I will do a giveaway. So stick around, keep watching. Let's see how we get this done. And again, thank you. So we got a tenant put on, we got some of the bark taken off, and now we're just going to finish rounding this out, cleaning it up, and go from there. Here we go. Putting a little parting cut in there, so I know about where the where I want to end. And then we're going to, that's the one right about there, right about there, right about there. And then start shaping the hat. And that, my friends, is about it. Now it's a little bit of a knot. Some of the pith is coming out right there, which is no big deal. Now it's just time to sand. Sand, sand, sand. One thing I forgot is what I like to do before I really start sanding really hardcore is I like to drill the hole for the nose. So I'm going to look around, see like that, but I'm going to end up putting a beard on him. Ooh, maybe I'll just do a mustache. No. But I like this little bit here, so I'm going to put... I'm going to put his nose... right about there. Personal preference, up to you. I use a quarter inch drill bit. It does not need to be very deep. I tend to go a little bit deeper than I normally would and give it a little bit of space between the hat and his nose because I like the hair to come up all the way, and then it'll be, yeah. So since that ripped out a little bit, sanding, that'll help sand all that up. So let's get busy sanding again. Sanding, very, very important to wear a dust mask. Let's check that out, see how it is. It feels super smooth. Now, I don't like going up past 220 grit because I'm going to be staining the hat, leaving this untouched, but I'm going to be staining the hat. And if I go up too high of a grit, the stain doesn't want to soak in. Okay, so finished up sanding up to 220 grit. I'm going to use some denatured alcohol. Slowed the lathe down, denatured alcohol, just to get the dust off, all that good stuff. Oh, there was something I was going to do. I'm going to burn this a little bit. Turn the speed back up. I like to put a little definition. On the hat brim. So I learned my lesson to still see a little bit of the green on my fingers, but I opened up one of these, one of my colorants. I use, lately I've been using Transtent, which is a concentrate, and it only takes like 30 drops per ounce or so. They say 16 per ounce. I do about 30. It gives me a little bit better of a color. I like deeper, richer colors. If you want a light color, just add like 10 to 16 drops per ounce of either water or denatured alcohol. I prefer the alcohol because it dries faster. And then if it's and then test it on a popsicle stick or whatever, and then just keep adding drops as needed. I took a needle and just poked a hole in there, so it makes it easy just to get drops out versus pouring grit. Be strong, but it spilt on me, and unfortunately, it got all over my hands. Luckily, regular denatured alcohol got most of it off. But now I love this little pipeless, battery-operated airbrush. Only issue is it doesn't regulate how much of your stain or whatever you end up putting in here very easily, so you tend to go through a lot where like that amount of stain in a regular airbrush would do 5 of these easy. This tends to go fairly quickly. So it's nice because there's no cords, there's no nothing. You just turn it on. You can think you could hear it, and it's ready to go. And the battery died on it. The battery died on it. It just shut off on me, so I'm going to cut and charge it up, come back, let that kind of dry off a little bit, see where we're at, if I need to add some more grain to it. Today is actually not... This wood's taking it quite nicely. The last piece I did, I had to go over it 3 or 4 times for it to take the stain in. Okay, so I'm going to cut it here, and I'll be right back once this is charged. Should be charged up enough by now. Just looking at the color up here, got it really good, but I just want to make sure I touch up a little bit right in through here, a little bit more, just to give it a little bit more of a rich green, and we'll go from there. One of my favorite things right now is instead of just a stark white, I'm using this metallic white. Oh, let me change that. This metallic white. It is folk art metallic pearl white. It gives it kind of almost a silvery white color. It's quite nice. There we go. And I brush this up. Just use a cheapy brush, and this is my paint palette. Let's shake. That right there. I got a little bit inside where the burn mark is, so I'm just going to use my wire and clean it up a little bit. I'm not reburning, I'm just using it to get in there, just to take the white back out. And then I'm wiping it off as I go. Cleaned up on the bottom, put a little sand it a little bit, and then I'll put it outside in my little spray area, give it a clear coat to make sure that the paint and stain and everything is locked in. And I like glossy because everything around Christmas time and the holidays, it's all about shininess. So I use a high gloss clear coat, and then I will put the nose on and then the beard. But for right now, let's go ahead and get busy on the nose. This is just a pen blank, soft maple, the lathe speed up nice and high. So I told you earlier that I like using the 1/4-inch drill bit for the noses because I made a shop-made tool. It is a 1/4-inch wrench. So the inside diameter of this wrench, this little tiny thing, I cut the end off, glued it into a handle. So now I have this, and I sharpen both the top and the bottom. And so this becomes a cutting tool. So now I just have to put it up against here, as long as it's braced. And you have to kind of play around with tool height. I can literally cut. I get it as close as possible, and then this will cut the tenon on it really easy. I just noticed that it's a little bit on the high side still, so I'm going to take a little bit more off, because it doesn't like to cut too much bigger than what it is. So brace it. Now we have a 1/4-inch tenon. And since that's going to be inside, I don't worry about sanding it or anything. Just kind of come back, redefine. Now that's ready for sanding. Because it's quote unquote cold outside and these are Christmas gnomes, I go ahead and I color. Color the nose red a little bit. Normally I would use my airbrush to do this, but it's such a small little area. A little bit of this. And then take a look at it. Is it too red? Is it too dark? If it's too dark, you can always because it's alcohol based, rub a little bit off with some denatured alcohol. Don't let your dye fall. Little orange gives it a little bit more character. not a super red. Then you just part it off. Now I like to part it off using my detail spindle gouge because I like it to have a point. It makes it easier to go into the hole. That we made for. Ta-da! And that will get a clear coat on it as well. And you can see that little bits darker here because this is end grain going this way because it's a pen blank. So the end grain soaked up the dye quickly, where the outside, and this ring on the outside, that doesn't bother me none because the hair is going to come up to that. Right? That's why I tend to make these a little bit more on the bigger side. So then you got that. Put it in. Yeah, the red nose. It's white, or I have white, and I've got like a nice brown. But we'll put a beard on them here in a minute. I'm gonna go cut some up, get the hot glue set up, hot glue gun set up, ready to go, and we'll go from there. All right, welcome back. I know it's only been like a half a second for you. But it's been like 4 hours for me. I had to make sure I had some issues with my clear coat. For some reason, it's the same stuff I use all the time, and it once it went on, it started gumming up on me. So I had to go through, do some hand sanding, recolor. I had to fix it up to the best of my ability. It looks all right. You can still see some ripples, but it kind of goes along with the hat, so I'm not too concerned about it. So let's head on over to the desk and we'll finish this off. All right, so here it is. Kind of see it's nice and shiny. Get a little more light on the situation. There you go. Nice and shiny. Hole for the nose. Here's the nose, polished it up. All right, so went ahead and pre-cut my beard. I decided to go with the darker brown. It does not look pretty on the back, but you can tell that you cannot tell with all the hair coming down. You just have to make sure that when you're cutting, that you cut just the backing of it, and try not to go real deep. So you want to just go just under this backing and just take small little nips out of it, or else you're cutting all that hair and it gets real short and it doesn't look right because all of a sudden it's long, and then it's a definite cut line. You want it to kind of hang down over the backing, and once you get done, just kind of lightly pull. Get done cutting it, lightly pull, and any extras will come off, and then you'll be good to go. Now, what I do is you can measure from the top to the middle of the hole. I don't find that necessary, but what I do is I'll take this, fold it in half, okay? Approximately about where that's going to be, I take a little nip. Just want a little tiny hole. Just a little one. And then you kind of spread the beard out a little bit about where it's going to be at. There it is. Sure bonder, high heat. I'll drop a little bit of hot glue. Right in the hole. Plunge this in. If there's any seepage, it doesn't matter because it's going to help hold the hair on. All right. So now we have all this. Smush it in there. All right. Then you just want to kind of peel back one corner. Put some glue. Careful, it's hot. And then get it right up against where your brim of your hat is. Smush it down. Then you want to come around to the other side. And don't worry about the hot glue strings. They will come off. You just have to kind of work it like so. Get it right up against where your hat brim is. Smush, smush, smush. Yeah. And then what I do is I'll just open up this guy. I'll put a bead right down the bottom. That's really all you need to do. Sometimes I'll just throw a little extra because I want to make sure that the beard doesn't go anywhere, and I just kind of force it down. Pat, pat, pat. And then you can, I take a little wire brush, and I'll go zoink, zoink, like that. And now he has a mustache. And you can kind of comb it down, and there you have it. One desk gnome. My camera's not going to want to do it. But you just set it on your desk, up on a shelf. The original elf on a shelf. But there you go. You can do, I've actually taken little rubber bands for like the hair and like rubber banded the mustache. Let it sit for a little bit and it'll stay a little bit better. Just get a little comb. If you sell these, when I sell these, I will have one of these with me in my little kit. And as I unpack them and set them out, I will do this and make it very dramatic. That way they can see. And then, and then people come over, they're like, oh, that's so cute. And I'm like, yeah, you can make them professional. You can, or give them a little mustachio. That's it. Thank you so much. You have a wonderful, wonderful day, weekend, week, month. Stay safe. Keep turning.